The Strangest Secret in the World by Earl Nightingale. Lesson 1. The Secret That Changes Everything. Let me ask you a question that has puzzled me for years. Why do so few people succeed while so many fail? Look around you. In any neighborhood, any city, any organization, only about 5% of people achieve remarkable success. The rest, that's 95% of folks, struggle through life, making a living rather than designing a life. I've spent decades searching for the answer, and what I discovered is so simple, so obvious, that it's hiding in plain sight. It's what I call the strangest secret in the world, and it's this. We become what we think about. That's it. Those 6 words contain the most powerful truth you may ever learn. Marcus Aurelius knew it when he wrote, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." The Bible says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Ralph Waldo Emerson declared, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." These great minds across history were all pointing to the same remarkable principle. Consider the farmer who plants a seed. That farmer doesn't plant corn but expect wheat to grow. He knows with absolute certainty that whatever seed he plants determines what he'll harvest. Your mind works in exactly the same way. Plant thoughts of failure, doubt, and limitation, and that's precisely what will grow in the garden of your life. Plant thoughts of success, confidence, and possibility, and watch how your life transforms. Why has this secret remained so strange, so hidden? Because it's too simple. We humans have a tendency to complicate things. We look for complex solutions to our problems when the most powerful answer has been with us all along, built into the very fabric of how our minds work. Think of your mind as the most fertile soil on earth. Every thought is a seed. Every single day, you're planting seeds that will determine your future harvest. The question is, are you planting deliberately, or are you just scattering whatever seeds happen to blow your way? Most people never take control of this planting process. They allow their thoughts to be shaped by circumstances, by the news, by what others say can or cannot be done. Their minds are like unattended gardens where weeds grow freely alongside the flowers. But you can make a different choice starting today. You can become one of the rare 5% who understand and apply this strange secret. You can take charge of your thoughts and therefore take charge of your life. I want you to try something. For the next 30 days, monitor every thought that enters your mind. Become the gatekeeper of your mental garden. When negative thoughts appear, doubt, fear, worry. Recognize them for what they are. Weeds that will choke out your success if allowed to take root. Replace them immediately with thoughts aligned with your goals and dreams. If you want health, think thoughts of vitality. If you want prosperity, think thoughts of abundance. If you want meaningful relationships, think thoughts of abundance. If you want meaningful relationships, think thoughts of love and connection. This is not wishful thinking or magic. It's the practical application of the most fundamental law governing human achievement. Your mind believes whatever you tell it most, and what you tell it shapes everything you'll become. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore exactly how to apply this strange secret to transform every aspect of your life. The journey we're beginning together might just be the most important one you'll ever take. Lesson 2. The 5 who succeed. Have you ever wondered why only a small percentage of people achieve remarkable success while the majority settle for mediocrity? This question has fascinated me throughout my career, and the answer reveals one of life's most profound truths. Look around you. In any workplace, neighborhood, or community, you'll notice that roughly 5 of people stand out as truly successful. These people aren't merely making a living. They're designing a life. There's a world of difference between these two approaches. The 5 who succeed share distinct characteristics that separate them from the crowd. First and foremost, they possess clarity of purpose. While the majority drift through life reacting to circumstances, successful people move with intention toward clearly defined objectives. They've taken the time to determine exactly what they want and have committed these goals to paper, reviewing them regularly until these desires become burning obsessions. Consider Thomas Edison, who tested over 10,000 materials before finding the right filament for his electric light bulb. When asked about his failures, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This exemplifies another quality of the successful five: persistence in the face of setbacks. The successful few think independently. While the masses follow conventional wisdom and adopt popular opinions, successful people evaluate ideas based on merit rather than popularity. They aren't afraid to chart their own course, even when it means standing alone temporarily. I've observed countless ordinary people achieve extraordinary results by applying these principles. Take Sarah, a single mother who started a small business from her kitchen table while working a full-time job. By setting clear goals, maintaining unwavering focus, and refusing to let circumstances dictate her future, she built a thriving enterprise that eventually allowed her to quit her job and create financial independence. The price of success is high. It demands discipline, focus, and consistent effort. Most people simply aren't willing to pay this price. They prefer immediate gratification over delayed rewards. They choose comfort over growth. They surrender their dreams to the tyranny of the urgent. Successful people understand that achievement requires sacrifice. They willingly forgo present pleasures for future gains. They invest in themselves through continuous learning while others seek entertainment. They wake up earlier, work with greater intensity, and persist longer than their peers. Another hallmark of the successful five is their relationship with fear. While the majority allow fear to paralyze them, successful people use fear as a compass, moving toward challenges rather than away from them. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, but action in its presence. The gap between the successful few and the drifting many isn't a matter of luck, talent, or opportunity. It's primarily a difference in thinking and the actions that naturally flow from those thoughts. The five who succeed have discovered the strangest secret, that we become what we think about most of the time. If you aspire to join this remarkable minority, begin by deciding exactly what you want. Set goals worthy of your potential. Think about these goals constantly. Take about these goals constantly. Take consistent action toward their achievement. Persist through inevitable obstacles. Do this, and you'll find yourself among the fives who succeed rather than the 95 who merely exist. Lesson 3. Your mind as fertile soil. Your mind is the most remarkable garden you'll ever possess. Like the rich, dark soil of a farmer's most treasured field, it stands ready to nurture whatever seeds you choose to plant within it. This simple truth forms the foundation of the strangest secret. We become what we think about. Consider for a moment how a single thought takes root in your mind. Whether positive or negative, once planted, that thought begins to grow. Your brain doesn't judge the quality of the seed. It merely provides the conditions for growth. A thought of fear will grow as readily as a thought of courage. A worry will flourish just as easily as a dream. Think of your thoughts as tiny electrical impulses traveling along neural pathways. Each time you repeat a thought, you strengthen that pathway, making it easier for that same thought to travel that route again. This is why negative thinking can become such a difficult habit to break. You've been paving and repaving those mental highways. The good news is that you, and you alone, control what gets planted in this fertile soil. No one can force you to accept thoughts that don't serve your highest good. You are the master gardener of your mind. But many of us have unknowingly surrendered this control. We allow our mental garden to be overrun with weeds, fears, doubts, and limitations that others have suggested to us. We accept negative programming from the news, from well-meaning but misguided friends, even from our own past failures. What if, starting today, you became more selective about what you allow to take root? What if you guarded the gateway to your mind with the vigilance of a protective parent? Here's a simple exercise. For the next week, before you accept any thought as truth, ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I want to be? If not, you have the right. If not, you have the right, indeed the responsibility, to replace it with something better. Your mental real estate is precious and limited. Would you allow strangers to dump their trash in your living room? Of course not. Yet we often permit others to dump their negativity, limitations, and fears directly into our minds without protest. I challenge you to a 30-day mental diet. For 1 month, refuse to dwell on negativity when a negative thought appears, and it will. Simply acknowledge it and replace it with something constructive. Don't fight the negative thought. That only gives it more power. Just gently substitute something better. Watch what happens as you fill your mental garden with thoughts of possibility, gratitude, and purpose. Like plants turning toward the sun, you'll find yourself naturally growing in the direction of your dominant thoughts. Remember, friends, this isn't mere positive thinking. It's practical psychology based on how your mind actually works. Your subconscious mind is literal and non-judgmental. Feed it images of success, and it will accept them as instructions. Feed it fears and limitations, and it will faithfully produce those instead. Choose your mental seeds wisely, for they determine the harvest of your life. Guard the soil of your mind, cultivate it carefully, and watch with wonder as the strange secret begins to work its magic in your life. Lesson 4. The tyranny of conformity. Most men and women today live under a dark cloud of conformity, never realizing the tremendous power that lies dormant within them. This is perhaps the greatest tragedy of our modern age. The majority of people are content to drift along with the crowd, taking the path of least resistance, never daring to chart their own course through life's vast ocean of possibilities. Look around you. Notice how many people wake up each morning, go through the same routines, complain about the same problems, and then wonder why their lives never change. They've fallen victim to what I call the tyranny of conformity, the invisible prison that keeps most people trapped in lives far below their potential. Henry David Thoreau observed that the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. How true this remains today. The pressure to conform begins early in our lives. As children, we learn to seek approval, to fit in, to avoid standing out. By adulthood, most have been thoroughly conditioned to follow rather than lead, to accept rather than question, to drift rather than to sail with purpose. But you were not born to simply take up space in this world. You were born to make a difference, to leave your mark, to create something meaningful from the raw materials of your life. Breaking free from conformity begins with a decision that you will no longer drift through life without direction. The first step is awareness. Become conscious of how often your decisions are influenced by what others might think rather than what you truly desire. Notice how frequently you abandon your dreams because someone told you they weren't practical. Recognize when you're drifting with the current instead of steering toward your own chosen destination. The second step is courage. It takes tremendous courage to stand apart from the crowd, to pursue your own path even when others don't understand. Nearly every great achievement in human history was initially met with skepticism or ridicule. The Wright brothers were mocked for believing humans could fly. Edison was called foolish for pursuing the electric light. Yet they persisted, and their courage changed our world forever. Develop specific techniques to resist negative social influences. Learn to smile politely at naysayers while remaining internally committed to your path. Surround yourself with books and, when possible, people who inspire rather than discourage. Create daily affirmations that reinforce your independence of thought and action. Most importantly, remember that the judgment of others is based on their limitations, not yours. When people say something cannot be done, they're really saying they cannot imagine doing it themselves. Their limitations need not become yours. Each morning, look in the mirror and remind yourself, I am not here to live down to others' expectations. I am here to live up to my own potential. Make this your mantra against conformity. The world does not need more followers. It desperately needs people with the courage to think independently, to challenge assumptions, to imagine new possibilities. Breaking free from conformity isn't just about personal fulfillment, though it certainly leads there. It's also about contributing something unique and valuable to a world drowning in sameness. Be that rare person who dares to think differently. Your greatest life awaits on the other side of conformity. Lesson 5. Goals. your mind's destination. A ship that leaves harbor without a destination in mind is simply adrift, my friends. Such a vessel may travel countless miles across the vast ocean, experiencing countless sunrises and sunsets, yet ultimately arrive nowhere in particular. Is this not precisely how many of us live our lives? We rise each morning, go through our daily routines, work diligently at our jobs, yet without a clearly defined destination. We are merely adrift in the sea of life. The staggering truth is that less than 5% of people have clearly defined, written goals for their lives, and it is this small percentage who accomplish the most remarkable achievements. This is no coincidence. Your mind requires direction, a clear target at which to aim all of its magnificent power. Without this target, your mental energy disperses like light without a lens to focus it. When you set a goal, something truly marvelous happens. Your mind, that incredible instrument given to each of us, begins working day and night to move you toward it. Even while you sleep, your subconscious continues to work on the problem, making connections and developing pathways that will lead you to your destination. But not all goals are created equal, my friends. Many people make the critical mistake of setting vague wishes rather than precise goals. I want to be happier or I want more money are not goals. They are merely wishes, without substance. A proper goal must be specific, measurable, and have a definite timeline. I will increase my income by 20% within 12 months by developing a new skill in my industry. Now that is a goal with power. Write your goals down. This simple act transforms the ethereal thought into something tangible, something real. A written goal makes a contract with yourself that your mind takes seriously. Review these written goals daily, preferably in the morning when your mind is fresh and in the evening before sleep. Let them be the first and last thoughts of your day. Your goals must generate within you what I call a burning desire. Lukewarm interest will not sustain you through the inevitable challenges that arise. When your desire burns hot enough, obstacles that would stop others become mere stepping stones on your journey. Remember, too, that distractions will constantly attempt to pull you off course. The world is filled with the noise of others' priorities and emergencies. You must develop the discipline to keep your eyes fixed on your destination, adjusting your course as needed, but never losing sight of where you're heading. The strangest secret works in perfect harmony with proper goal setting. When you think consistently about your goals, you literally become what you think about. Your thoughts, focused like a powerful beam of light on your desired outcome, reshape your actions, your habits, and ultimately, your life. Set your course today, my friends. Determine where you wish your ship to sail. Write it down with clarity and precision. Review it daily with burning desire, and watch as the magnificent power of your mind guides you unerringly to your chosen destination. Lesson 6. The miracle of your attitude. Have you ever noticed how two people can experience the exact same event yet walk away with completely different impressions? One person sees opportunity where another sees only obstacles. One finds joy where another finds disappointment. What makes the difference? It's not circumstances, it's attitude. The miracle of attitude is perhaps the greatest power you possess. Your attitude acts as a filter through which you experience everything in life. It colors every moment, every interaction, every challenge, and here's the wonderful truth. Your attitude is entirely within your control. I've met men and women from all walks of life, some blessed with every advantage, others facing tremendous hardship. Yet their success and happiness rarely corresponded to their circumstances. The determining factor was invariably their attitude toward those circumstances. Consider the humble carpenter who whistles while he works, finding satisfaction in the perfect joint or the smooth finish of a tabletop. Compare him to the wealthy executive who has everything money can buy but focuses only on what's missing. Which one experiences the richer life? The answer is clear. Your attitude determines how you respond when life tests you. And make no mistake, life will test you. Challenges arise for everyone. The question is, will you respond with frustration and complaint, or with resilience and determination? Gratitude plays an essential role in shaping a powerful, positive attitude. When you begin each day by acknowledging what you're thankful for, Even small blessings, you prime your mind to notice opportunities rather than problems. This simple practice can transform your experience of life. There are practical methods to maintain positivity even in challenging times. When facing difficulty, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How might this serve me in the long run? This shifts your perspective from victim to student, from passive to active. Another powerful technique is to watch your words carefully. The language you use, both in speaking to others and in your internal dialogue, shapes your reality. Replace I have to with I get to. Instead of this is impossible, ask how can I make this possible? Ask how can I make this possible? These subtle shifts create profound changes in your experience. Your attitude doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your results. People are naturally drawn to those with positive, can-do attitudes. Opportunities flow toward those who approach life with enthusiasm and confidence. Success breeds success. Think of your attitude as a muscle that grows stronger with daily exercise. Each time you choose optimism over pessimism, gratitude over complaint, or courage over fear, you strengthen this muscle. Over time, what once required conscious effort becomes second nature. The compound effect of daily attitude choices is enormous. Just as a ship that changes course by 1 degree will reach a completely different destination over time, small daily shifts in attitude lead to dramatically different life outcomes. Remember this, circumstances don't determine your life. Your response to them does. And at the heart of that response is your attitude. It's a miracle waiting to transform everything for you, if only you'll claim its power each and every day. Lesson 7. The work required. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about work. Real work, the kind that transforms dreams into reality. Too many folks today are chasing the illusion of overnight success, looking for shortcuts and easy paths to achievement. But I'm here to tell you something that may not be popular but is absolutely true. There is no elevator to success. You must take the stairs. The strangest secret we've been discussing works only when paired with consistent, dedicated effort. Think about it this way. A farmer can't simply think about a bountiful harvest and expect it to appear. After planting those seeds of thought, he must water, weed, and tend his fields daily. Your dreams require the same devoted care. I've observed something remarkable about truly successful people. They don't just do what they're paid to do. They do more. They provide additional service beyond what's expected. This principle of going the extra mile isn't just good ethics. It's practical psychology. When you consistently deliver more than expected, you program your mind with images of excellence and abundance rather than mere sufficiency. Great achievements are almost always the result of small efforts compounded over time. The novelist doesn't write a masterpiece in a day, but produces pages consistently. The successful business wasn't built overnight, but through thousands of dedicated decisions and actions. This compounding effect of consistent effort is so powerful, yet so misunderstood by those looking for instant results. When you align your daily work with your deepest purpose, something magical happens. Tasks that might seem mundane to others become meaningful to you. The accountant who sees herself as bringing order to chaos, the teacher who views each lesson as shaping tomorrow's leaders, the store clerk who considers each interaction an opportunity to brighten someone's day. These people transform ordinary work into extraordinary purpose through mindful engagement. And here's another secret about work that few understand. There can be tremendous joy in the process itself, not just in reaching goals. When you're fully engaged in work that matters to you, using your talents, stretching your abilities, and seeing tangible progress, that's a form of happiness that material rewards alone cannot provide. Never forget the dignity in honest work. Our modern world sometimes diminishes the value of effort, suggesting that struggling means you're doing something wrong. Nothing could be further from the truth. The struggle of meaningful work builds character, develops skills, and reveals strengths you never knew you possessed. Today, examine your attitude toward work. Are you giving the minimum or delivering exceptional value? Are you watching the clock or focusing on contribution? Are you waiting for your circumstances to change, or are you changing your circumstances through dedicated effort? What you think about, you become. And when you think about your work as a privilege, an opportunity, and a pathway to your dreams, you transform not just your results, but your entire experience of life. The work required isn't just what stands between you and success. It's what makes success meaningful when you achieve it. Lesson 8. The truth about time. Time, the great equalizer of mankind. There is no greater democracy in our world than the democracy of time. Each of us, whether president or janitor, millionaire or minimum wage earner, receives exactly the same allotment. 24 hours each day, no more and no less. I've often wondered why so many people squander this precious resource. The strangest secret applies here as well, my friends. You become what you think about, and how you think about, and how you think about time determines what you'll do with the moments given to you. Look at successful men and women. They guard their time as preciously as gold because they understand it's far more valuable. Gold can be replaced. Time, once spent, is gone forever. These achievers aren't necessarily working more hours than others. They're investing their hours in activities that yield greater returns. Consider this. We each have 40 minutes each day. How many of yours are spent watching television programs you don't particularly enjoy? How many disappear into mindless scrolling on devices? How many evaporate in worry about things you cannot change? The average American spends over 4 hours daily watching television. In a lifetime, that's nearly 10 years. A decade spent watching other people's stories instead of creating their own. Is that how you wish to invest your irreplaceable time? Your mind believes whatever you tell it. When you say, "I don't have time," your mind accepts this as truth. But is it really? What you actually mean is, "I'm choosing to spend my time elsewhere." This simple shift in understanding, recognizing that you always choose how to use your time, is liberating. Try this experiment. For just one day, track how you spend each hour. Be honest. No judgments, just observations. You'll likely be surprised at where your minutes actually go. This awareness is the first step toward reclaiming ownership of your time. Successful people practice what I call intentional living. They begin each day with a plan. They identify their most important tasks, those activities that move them toward their goals, and protect the time needed to complete them. They understand that urgent matters aren't always important ones. Think of your time as an investment portfolio. Some investments yield tremendous returns. Others drain resources with little benefit. Would you knowingly choose poor financial investments? Of course not. Yet many do exactly this with something far more precious than money. Remember this principle. Time spent in alignment with your goals compounds like interest. Reading for 30 minutes daily may seem small, but over a year, that's 182 hours of learning, the equivalent of 4 full college courses. Small, consistent time investments yield remarkable results. What about balance? Yes, we need rest, recreation, and relationships, but even these should be chosen thoughtfully, not merely fallen into by default. Intentional relaxation refreshes. Mindless time killing only depletes. Your challenge today is straightforward. Decide that from this moment forward, you will take command of your time. You will invest it, not merely spend it. You will align your hours with your dreams. For when you do this, you align yourself with the tremendous power of the strangest secret, becoming what you think about most. Lesson 9. Harnessing the power of habit. I want to share with you today what may be the most powerful force in your life, something that silently determines your success or failure more than almost any other factor. I'm talking about your habits, those small actions you repeat day after day, often without conscious thought. Think about this carefully. Your life today is essentially the sum total of your habits. What you repeatedly do ultimately forms the person you are, the things you believe, and the personality you portray. As Aristotle noted over 2,000 years ago, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. The fascinating thing about habits is that they operate below our conscious awareness. Once a habit is formed, your brain essentially puts that activity on autopilot. This is both wonderful and dangerous. When you form positive habits, reading daily, exercising regularly, saving money, or practicing kindness, these actions compound over time into remarkable results without requiring continuous willpower. But negative habits work exactly the same way, slowly eroding your potential, your health, and your happiness. Let me tell you something important. Your brain doesn't distinguish between good and bad habits. It simply recognizes patterns and makes them automatic to conserve energy. This means you have tremendous power. You can deliberately program yourself for success by carefully selecting which actions you repeat. Every morning when you wake up, you step into a river of established habits. The way you start your day, how you speak to yourself and others, whether you exercise, what you eat. These aren't just random choices. What you eat, these aren't just random choices. They're behaviors programmed into your neural pathways through repetition. The good news is that habits can be changed. Scientists tell us it takes approximately 21 days of consistent action to form a new habit. 3 weeks. That's a small investment for a lifetime of positive returns. But you must understand this process doesn't happen by accident. You must intentionally replace poor habits with better ones. Start by identifying one habit you wish to change. Perhaps you want to read for 30 minutes each day or wake up earlier. Write down your intention clearly. Then, make this new action as easy to perform as possible. Place your book where you'll see it. Set out your exercise clothes the night before or prepare your healthy breakfast in advance. Remember, small actions repeated consistently create powerful results. A person who reads just 10 pages daily will finish around 20 books in a year. Someone who saves a small amount each week builds wealth through consistency and compound interest. These aren't dramatic changes, but their cumulative effect is extraordinary. Your evening routine deserves special attention. The thoughts you focus on before sleep profoundly influence your subconscious mind. Use these precious minutes to review your goals, express gratitude, and plan your next day. As you develop stronger habits, you'll notice something remarkable. The actions that once required tremendous willpower become effortless. This is where true transformation happens. Your positive behaviors become part of your identity. You no longer say, "I'm trying to exercise regularly." Instead, you simply are a person who exercises. This shift from conscious effort to automatic behavior is the miracle of habit. Remember, your habits are creating your future right now. Choose them wisely, for they will determine who you become. Lesson 10. Overcoming fear and doubt. Fear is the great immobilizer. It stands like a sentinel at the gateway to our dreams, challenging us to prove our worthiness before we pass. Yet understand this, my friends, fear is nothing more than a feeling. It is not brick and mortar. It cannot truly stop you. Only you can do that by giving it power. The strangest secret works in both directions. Just as we become what we think about positively, we also become what we fear. A mind filled with doubt produces a life filled with limitation. The person who fears failure finds it at every turn, while the person who expects success discovers opportunities where others see only obstacles. Consider this truth. Most of what we fear never comes to pass. We create elaborate stories of disaster in our minds, using our magnificent creative power against ourselves. I call this negative goal setting, focusing intently on what we don't want until we bring it into existence. Look at fear for what it really is. A biological warning system designed to protect our ancient ancestors from physical dangers. In our modern world, this system often misfires, treating a speech before colleagues with the same alarm as encountering a predator in the wild. The physical sensations, racing heart, shallow breathing, tightened muscles, are the same, but the threat is imaginary. The remedy for fear is decisive action. Motion creates emotion. When you move forward despite trembling hands, you teach your mind an invaluable lesson. Fear is not the boss of you. Each step taken in the face of fear builds confidence for the next challenge. I recommend the act as if principle to my listeners. Act as if you already possess the courage you seek. Act as if success is inevitable. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. By acting confidently, you actually become confident. Failure, which many fear above all else, is simply education in disguise. Thomas Edison famously said of his thousands of unsuccessful attempts to create the light bulb, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This perspective transforms the fear of failure into curiosity about solutions. Begin a daily practice of expanding your comfort zone. Take small risks that make you uncomfortable but not overwhelmed. Speak to a stranger. Share an idea in a meeting. Ask for what you want. These seemingly insignificant acts of courage compound over time into a fearless character. Remember this: doubt can only exist in the gap between what we know now and what we'll discover through action. The person standing on the shore doubts their ability to swim. The person in the water is too busy swimming to doubt. When fear speaks to you, thank it for its concern, then proceed anyway. Fear will always be present when you pursue meaningful goals. The secret is not to eliminate fear, but to act despite it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the triumph over it. Your life expands in direct proportion to your courage. Each fear conquered opens new territories of possibility. Start today by identifying one fear-based thought and replacing it with its opposite. Where you think I can't, declare I can. Where you think I'll fail, affirm I'll find a way. Your mind believes whatever you tell it. Tell it you are brave, capable, and unstoppable. Then watch as your external world rearranges itself to match your thoughts. Lesson 11. Your service to others. The true nature of success reveals itself not in what we accumulate, but in what we give. As we've discovered throughout our journey together, the strangest secret works with unwavering precision. We become what we think about. But there exists a magnificent multiplier to this principle that transforms ordinary achievement into extraordinary living, the dedication of our talents and energies to serving others. Consider this truth, my friend. No person stands as an island in this world. We are interconnected in ways both seen and unseen. The grocer who provides your food, the builder who constructed your home, the author whose words inspire you. Each has contributed to your life through their service. And in this great exchange of human energy and talent lies the foundation of a meaningful existence. When you rise in the morning, ask yourself not what can I get today, but rather, what can I give today? This simple shift in thinking propels you into a different dimension of living. The person focused solely on personal gain often finds happiness elusive, while the individual who approaches each day with a spirit of contribution discovers joy as a natural byproduct. Think of service as the highest expression of your unique gifts. Each of us arrives in this world with distinct talents, perspectives, and abilities. To withhold these from others isn't merely a disservice to them. It's a profound limitation on your own fulfillment. The carpenter finds purpose in creating sturdy, beautiful structures for others. The teacher's reward comes through illuminating young minds. The shopkeeper serves by providing quality goods with integrity and care. Your particular form of service need not be grand or publicly celebrated to matter deeply. The parent who raises children with patience and wisdom serves humanity profoundly. The office worker who brings cheerfulness and excellence to each task uplifts everyone around them. The neighbor who checks on elderly residents performs work as valuable as any celebrated profession. Service operates according to universal law. What you send into the lives of others returns to you multiplied. This isn't mystical thinking, but practical reality. The business owner who genuinely seeks to solve problems for customers rather than merely extract profit finds that prosperity follows naturally. The friend who listens with genuine interest discovers they're never without companionship when needed. Service also provides the surest cure for many modern ailments. Feeling anxious? Focus on helping someone else. Discouraged? Find someone who needs encouragement. Self-absorbed? Volunteer where your talents meet genuine need. The mind engaged in contribution has little room for destructive emotions. As you develop this service mindset, be careful not to confuse it with martyrdom or self-neglect. True service comes from abundance, not depletion. Like the airline safety demonstration reminds us to secure our own oxygen mask before helping others, we must nourish our own well-being to be of lasting benefit to those around us. Start today by identifying 3 ways you can increase your service to others, perhaps through your work, your family relationships, or your community. Make these service commitments specific and actionable. Then watch how this orientation transforms not only the lives you touch, but the very quality of your own existence. For in serving others, we discover the greatest secret within the secret, that a life of outward focus becomes immeasurably rich in all the ways that truly matter. Lesson 12. The legacy you leave behind. Have you ever wondered what mark you'll leave on this world when your time here is done? It's a question worth pondering, because the legacy you create isn't built in your final hours. It's constructed each day through the thoughts you nurture and the actions those thoughts inspire. The strangest secret we've explored throughout our journey together, that we become what we think about, applies not only to our personal success, but to the impact we have on everyone around us. Your thoughts create ripples that extend far beyond your own experience, touching lives in ways you may never fully appreciate. Consider this. Everything ever built, every company founded, every book written, every kindness shared, all began as a single thought in someone's mind. That thought, properly nurtured and acted upon, grew into something tangible that outlived its creator. What thoughts are you cultivating today that might bloom into your legacy tomorrow? Many folks mistakenly believe a legacy requires tremendous wealth or public recognition. Nothing could be further from the truth. Your true legacy is measured by how you've influenced the hearts and minds of others. The parent who instills confidence in a child leaves a legacy that may echo through generations. The teacher who inspires curiosity creates ripples of knowledge that spread indefinitely. The friend who offers encouragement during difficult times plants seeds of strength that continue growing long after the conversation ends. Your daily choices, guided by your thoughts, are building your legacy brick by brick. When you choose optimism over pessimism, you teach others that challenges can be overcome. When you persist despite obstacles, you demonstrate the power of determination. When you treat others with kindness and respect, you establish a standard that influences their behavior toward others. Farmer, we discussed who carefully selected quality seeds to plant in his field. Just as he wouldn't randomly scatter seeds without thought to what might grow, you mustn't allow random thoughts to determine your legacy. Choose your thoughts with intention, understanding they will manifest in your actions and ultimately in the mark you leave on this world. I encourage you to take a moment today to reflect on the legacy you're creating. Ask yourself, if my life's influence were to be measured not by my possessions but by my impact on others, what would that measurement reveal? Then consider what thoughts you might need to cultivate to build the legacy you truly desire. The wonderful truth is that it's never too late to shape your legacy. The thoughts you choose today will influence your actions tomorrow, and those actions will touch lives in ways that continue long after you're gone. By applying the strangest secret, by carefully selecting and nurturing thoughts aligned with your highest values, you ensure that your life's significance extends far beyond your years. Your legacy isn't something that begins when your life ends. It's being written right now, with every thought you think and every action you take. Make it magnificent